an AoE to allow him to fight back against the Blood Reaver Gul'dan turn. This has allowed him to actually generate a pretty significant threat with the Medivh here as well.
Right.
But the Gul'dan, I believe, currently brings back a Voidwalker and 2 Despicable Dreadlords.
Yes.
So that would immediately kill the Acidic Swamp Ooze, and the Tark Reaper could attack into the crab and kill that as well.
Yeah, but then the Blizzard that comes back from Tom's side, which he set up because he knew that even if his opponent did play Blood Reaver Gul'dan, he'd be able to Blizzard, kill off all the threats, and push 7 damage, which is also pretty huge in this spot too. And then on Nalg'Dan's side, is he forced to play Blood Reaver Gul'dan because that's obviously his best card in this position in most cases.
Gonna go ahead and Twisting Nether this board with the Doomsayer to follow up.
Wants to wait just a little bit longer.
And now this is kind of a weird spot for Tom, because if you were to cast the Grid Arcane Missiles and hit twice on the Doomsayer, which is a 50-50, you're either about, right? You either you can also triple hit it, which leaves you with a 7-drop. It's not quite 50-50.
I must decide.
Yeah, so it actually tilts the odds.
It's actually,
for
yeah,
things
it's
that
actually, well, in terms, it's better than 50-50 that there's a good outcome in terms of the Doomsayer potential. Miss the Doomsayer once, or rather, you miss the Doomsayer twice, you do 6 to your opponent at least.
I like it.
All right, going for it. Oh, face! 9 to the face! Thresh-it-on! Oh, it's actually not going to matter because of the Despicable Dreadlords, but it was briefly exciting.
My
Holy
goodness.
Fire!
Holy
Okay.
Fire is also
That's
relevant.
a burn. But the Gul'dan hero power, potentially, you know, Nalg'Dan's going to play Gul'dan. That will put him up to 11 life, give him a hero power that is drain life for 3, and a huge board.
Yeah, and Tom is still on a draw to potentially win the game here. Just burn, but I think he's going to use most of it.
One of them was polymorphed, wasn't it?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Only one of them.
I missed that. Okay, well, that's actually a pretty different situation.
But I mean, the window is going to close for Tom to win through burn because of the 6-point swing that Nalg'Dan will have with the bite life.
Yeah, that Holy Fire is not nearly as impressive when your opponent is just clawing out of range every single turn.
He needs minions to get the work done here at this point.
I mean, he has the ability to get minions. He has
the light shall
Blizzard,
bring
which will
victory.
give him a 6-drop. He can ping off the Voidwalker, which will give him a Water Elemental. That does run the risk that his block just gets popped the next turn, but he has Alexstrasza, so he does have the ability to set himself back up. If Nalg'Dan doesn't both pop his block and give him or develop a large board. Ooh,
Cabal Trafficker?
Cabal Trafficker is very interesting because now he gets a demon.
No, wait, actually,
Blood's
hold
not
on.
bad. It's a 1 health minion.
It's
so,
a water element.
Yeah, that is a 3-cost water element effectively for Tom. Nalg'Dan, though, he has Abyssal Enforcer plus Fight here. Potentially clear off the Trafficker and leave him at the same health he started at because of the life gain, as well as a Voidwalker if he wishes to play it.
What do you think Tom is saving this Alexstrasza for? Is it waiting for after his Ice Block gets popped? Is he going to use it for the late game fatigue stages here?
Oh, I think he's just waiting for a relatively safe spot to play it, so that he is getting value from it and not leaving himself vulnerable to getting significantly attacked by minions as well.
I mean, also because he has Blizzard and Doomsayer, so he can set up the Blizzard Doomsayer, force his opponent to like remove everything.
Nalg'Dan only has 2 cards left in his deck. So if Tom is able to maneuver in such a way that he, say, sets up a Doomsayer and Nalg'Dan can't get minion damage in, it's possible that Nalg'Dan actually ends up getting fatigued. Obviously, somebody who's died of fatigue because he has gained life every turn, but he can set up an odd situation for Nalg'Dan.
Yeah, Tom has to be really cautious too. His Blood is worth for a water elemental, and these late game scenarios, you need every single bit of life that you can, because the Warlock's hero power makes it so that it catches up in fatigue significantly because of the 6-point swing. It's like it's 3 cards or more difference in fatigue here. Now Gadon is forced just to hero power here because he doesn't want to damage himself. That finally gives tempo to Tom.
Nalgadon has used both copies of Siphon Soul. He's used a single copy, I believe, of Twisting. He has no answer to an Alex Straza, and he also has no great answer to this double water elemental board. He can double Hellfire it, but that gives Tom the opportunity to just Alex Straza himself after the fact.
Right away.
That's the last card for Nalgadon. He could use the Tainted Zealot plus double Defile here to clear these off, rather than using the Hellfires, which is at his own life low, and give value to the Alex Straza for Tom.
Man, what's remaining in Tom's deck here? I don't think he actually has that much burn left.
Tom hasn't had everything. I believe Tom has not yet played his Fire Limbs Portal, so I believe that is the single remaining actual effect in his deck.
And then now you're down. You know, if he goes for maximum damage, he can do 11. You can do 8 through the Hellfire, but he doesn't have enough to hero power at that point, so he can do 9 this turn. That's the best he's gonna get.
All right, puts Tom down to 4, himself up to 11. Alex Straza is waiting in the wings for Tom to bring him about up to 15.
But Tom knew this entire time he's got Doomsayer, Blizzard, and then like I said, Water Elementals. And now he concedes. What a crazy back and forth game. That was chess-like in terms of what Tom set up for, despite the fact that things were looking pretty bad for a while.
It did look bad for him. You know, it looked like there were a few opportunities he could have chosen to play his Jaina earlier. He chose not to. Ultimately, he was able to use the grind ability of Jaina to keep forcing Nalgadon to deal with water elementals rather than being able to go on the offensive, and just ran him out of cards.
And Tom right there showed you why he put a lot of faith in his mage, but man, did he cut it close. Double Mountain Giant faces Shambler starts with Despicable Dreadlord. The one big piece, though, was Blood Reaver Gul'dan being at the bottom there. Now Down was not able to pressure him enough, and Tom inches closer to a comeback. Not that he necessarily needs it, though, Gibbler.
Yeah, Tom is the #1 points earner in the Asia-Pacific region for the last call standings by a lot. No one has the possibility to realistically catch him, which means that even if he were to just go 0-2 in this tournament, he is qualified for the World Championship. So what he's looking to do is win some money here by doing well, as potentially open up an opportunity for someone else to make it to the World Championship from Asia Pacific.
That's right. You mentioned Ping Hill. He hopes to be able to take a spot if he's able to qualify, as Tom is one of the most well-known, dedicated players in Hearthstone. And he's put a lot of effort to make sure that he'll make it to the World Championships.
Last Call awards the top point earner in each region a spot in the World Championships if they haven't already qualified. There is no one who can catch me, so I'll be going to Worlds regardless of how I perform here.
Right away.
Once I learned how Last Call worked, I worked hard to get to be first in my region. It wasn't easy to get those points, but it was a good way to try and make Worlds. There is a little less pressure for me in the Summer Championships. However, I enjoy playing in tournaments, and this one has a really big prize pool. Also, I can earn another spot in the Worlds for my region, so I really want to play as best I can. The players behind me in the standings really want me to qualify here, because then they have a chance to go to Worlds.
Anduin versus Throw.
I'm going to approach the game the same way I always do.
Light shall bring victory.
I will do my best to play well, and if I do that and lose, I'll be okay with the result. If I do that and win, it will be even better.
Tom is currently down 1-2, but he's got momentum on his side. It feels like when you're able to win a nail bear like that, a huge amount of relief washes over you. As we're going to be playing to the first of 3 here. And of course, this is just the first match of the group. It is double elimination groups here. So we'll find out what ends up happening for that series.
And we see what has happened in some of the off-stream matches. Old Bull managed to take the match 3-2 over Trunks, while Jason Joe took down Amix also by a score of 3-2.
That's right, 2 Europeans versus 2 Chinese players, and it looks like they split games. But if you're talking to China, that's a win in their books there, because Europe's been dominant so far, particularly over China, going back to the Spring Championship and even back to winter there too. So I'm sure that Chinese players, even though they're sad to see Trunks drop there, Jason's though taking a win was a big W.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have a chance to see all of those players on camera later in the weekend. The winners will play later today. The remaining players will complete their matches.
We'll see Jason so back on stage soon enough. And now, now we're going to go to one of the more interesting things about this series. Now, I was actually testing a lot of this series with Admirable. We played a bunch of best of fives, and you know, one of the series we tested was Thompson, now we and we were just unable to really ever beat Jade Druid with Nalgadon's lineup. So what was interesting is that he didn't ban it. He banned Priest instead. What do you think that is?
Honestly, from the perspective of Nalgadon's lineup, I'm not really sure. He has that very unusual control mage deck, which I personally don't have a ton of experience with. I do think that his lineup is particularly vulnerable to Jade Druid. One of the matchups that I tried to win a lot was controlling Warlock against Jade Druid. This is before the nerfs, so I was playing a lot of it, but it was always an incredible struggle. And one of the big reasons is that you don't really have a ton of life to work with in the matchup. There's not a ton of great ways to, barring Gul'dan, get your life back. But there's also, because of the amount of big minions that the Druid is able to generate, there's very few safe moments to actually play Gul'dan. You'll often just get your face crushed by a bunch of giant golems if you ever spend 10 mana and don't do enough to the board.
Yep, I can identify, and I'm sure a lot of people in this room can identify with that exact feeling, as Tom has a lot of good stuff here available to him in the next coming turns. I think, you know, he's looking at Ram originally, like Jade Blossom and and then he's trying to think about what do I do if my opponent has the best turn 4? What if he plays Mountain Giant? What if he plays Twilight Drake? How do I respond to that?
I think there's also some consideration of, do I play Nourish, and if I do, what mode? Because Tom does not yet have an Ultimate Infestation in his hand.
That's true.
So if he does play Nourish, he goes up to 7 mana, 8 for next turn, which does let him play Mirekeeper Jade Spirit very quickly. However, you know, that does run the risk that his draws are dry, he does not find Infestation and runs out of cards.
It does feel a little bit too greedy to Nourish for crystals, because you already have Mirekeeper, which could accomplish kind of the same thing what you want to do, which is ramp up. And then Nourish, at that point, isn't getting you anything to what you want. With the Forgotten King is often played as a free 7/7 and not really for the armor.
All right, well, a giant does come into the hand of Nalgadon, so he has the opportunity to play one of those big monsters that can give Jade Druid fits early in the game.
That was what Nalgadon was fighting for. If you were to have a chance at this match, it does come down to how early can you place your threats. A Mountain Giant is pretty much as quick as it comes.
So many possibilities.
I may be debating if he wants to play the coin giant, you know, that play. No, he's actually coin tap and play Mountain.
He has a Doomsayer opportunity here, which is very greedy, but I don't know if... Like your opponent's on 6 mana. It feels like there's a lot of ways for them to answer it, especially if they have Spellbreaker. But I guess maybe he's going to play the odds. Say, I don't think he has Spellbreaker because it's only a 1-of, and it's less likely that he has it. And also, this is like a big reveal too, which says I don't have Twilight Drake because I'd much rather play Twilight Drake. Or reason to oblige to take a Spellbreaker.
Here, Nalgadon is trying to get an empty board to play that Mountain Giant. He could have played Giant that turn. It wouldn't have been the most efficient mana usage because it was only a 3-cost Giant. It's always sort of weird when, you know, it feels like your mana usage is poor just because your Giant is even more discounted. But mostly he just wants to have the best chance that the Giant is safe. If he was able to play a Giant on an empty board, it takes 8 damage worth of spells from coming to it. Whereas if you played a Giant on that board, you can potentially lose it to much less thanks to the presence of a bunch of minions. So Tom is going to Nourish for cards and finds some powerful ones.
So more cards that draw cards and some large green. Is extremely good at some of these giant minions. And, you know, maybe even just tossing the Jade Idol there.
Yeah, so here Tom plays the Jade Idol. It may seem strange because by playing the Jade Idol here,